So then guys, today I want to compare the MacBook Air M4 to the latest generation of the iPad with the A16 inside of it. Now, you might be thinking, I'm really crazy to do this. Why would I compare, say, the iPad base model to a MacBook Air? Because obviously the MacBook Air is definitely going to win in specs and overall. And yeah, you're actually right. You know, if you're just looking here at these Geekbench scores here, I've actually compared M4 to the A16. Yeah, the M4 completely smashes the A16 completely. There's no doubt about it. M4 is way better than what we have with the iPad. And also, like, we've got a larger screen, the actual form factor when it's all folded down, even in the portfolio case, it actually also is slimmer too. Battery life, we are way ahead, where the MacBook Air can give us up to about 18 hours, where this can only give us up to 10 hours, talking about almost double the amount there. RAM, there's 16 gigabytes in here, and there's only 6 in here. So yeah, on paper, completely, the MacBook Air is way, way better. So that can conclude our video for today, can't it? It wins. But what I want to actually say is, this iPad here actually is very good. And you actually be quite surprised what you can actually do with it. Now, for price-wise, the MacBook costs $999 and the iPad costs $349. And by the way, that's just the iPad on its own. That's not with a keyboard or anything like that. The Magic Keyboard, yeah, that's really expensive, that Folio one, but you can pick up one like this one here, the ESR one, which costs $89. So these two together combined would cost you $439, what still is less than half price of an Air starting at $999. So yeah, that's a really, really good deal what you can get there. But the bit what I want to talk about is to do with, say, usability factor. Now, a lot of you guys out there right now, you know, you might be even sitting on your couch at home watching this video, for example, and you might be browsing the web at the same time on a MacBook or a laptop. But the thing is, this is where I'm coming at. If you're just going to be browsing the web, checking your bills online, I don't know, browsing Amazon, things like this, an iPad might actually be more suitable for you, and especially like this iPad with the A16. Now, what I'm going to say right now is that definitely this iPad is not for someone who's a developer creating things and not going to full scale like 3D art and things like this. But the crazy thing is, for basic tasks like checking your emails, for actually, you know, doing Word documents, if you're a student, when I'm saying I'm a student, a young student, or maybe you're just a person who just does your work at home for editing files and sending off documents and things like this, you know, emails and whatever, complaining to people and letters, this might actually be a better option for you than buying yourself a MacBook Air. Like I said, you can run things like Word on this. You can run things like PowerPoint. You can run Excel on both of these with no problems whatsoever. And there's no lag at all with the iPad. You can have all 3 apps open, and I've not noticed any kind of problems with this. And it's the same with, say, the Apple suite of this. Obviously, they have Instead, they have Keynote, Numbers, and Pages. And again, no problems. There's no stuttering. It works completely smooth, no matter if it's on the MacBook Air or it's on the iPad. What's really, really great news to hear. And it even continues on to say if you're using Safari or Chrome, you get the full-size web pages. You don't get the mobile versions of the pages, and you can open up, say, 10 apps at the same time on an iPad, and it does not struggle with this, thanks to that 6 gigabytes of RAM. In fact, I bet I could open up a few more tabs if I wanted to, but I just didn't do that, because I just thought 10, that's a good enough number. I know, like I said, there will be you guys out there who will open up even more than that, but for just basic kind of working, this is working no problems whatsoever. And it doesn't just stop there either. Say, for example, you're doing Zoom calls, or let's say a FaceTime call, or, you know, Teams and things like this. This works with no issues whatsoever. Just like how it would work like on a MacBook Air. And even things like Photoshop. You can get Photoshop here on the MacBook Air and it works no problems. And same with Final Cut Pro. But did you know you can actually now run Final Cut Pro on this A16 chip? Apple have made it available, and Photoshop works too, no problems. So if you do want to do a bit of light sort of editing of videos and also some light editing of photos, well, yeah, this iPad can actually do that for you. Well, it's fantastic just for those sort of light sort of bits of work that you went and did your holiday snaps that you've taken on your iPhone, like maybe in JPEG or, you know, the HEIF file, not in RAW. This is more than capable of actually dealing with all of that. Well, it's fantastic. And then there's even games. And I'd actually even argue that the iPad has more games on it than even the Mac does. So, you know, there's definitely a win there. But I think you're guessing the point here. For just general kind of use, this iPad is actually really incredible. And like I said, you could pick it up with a keyboard like this ESR one here and the iPad for $439. And yet it can do everything what this device can do right here. Now, the MacBook Air, I'm not going to deny, is definitely the best of the machine. Obviously, like multitasking, this is going to be way better to do this on. And then you can even plug in 2 monitors into this, so you can actually use the screen now, finally, on the MacBook Air, and actually have 2 external screens working, which is brilliant. Whereas with the iPad in comparison, multitasking is not the best. It can do it, obviously. And also, if you want to plug in a monitor, well, you can plug it in, but it will only duplicate what you've got actually on your screen. You can't have that as a separate screen next to it. You can only just mirror exactly what you're seeing on the iPad, and that is it there. So obviously for multitasking in that kind of sense, yeah, the MacBook Air wins. But if you are just working on single apps at a time, then like I would say the iPad is, yeah, no problems here. It's brilliant. And I'd even say the iPad goes further. You don't have to have a keyboard or a trackpad. You can just use it as an iPad and you can watch media on it and things like this. And it's far easier to take around in my opinion. And then if you're a little bit artistic, well, you can get like the USB-C Apple Pencil, will work no problems with this iPad. And yeah, that is fantastic too. So you can actually do some doodling and things like this, what you can't do on a MacBook. And yet, like I said, all of this is going to cost you $349 just for the iPad, and then just for having this sort of keyboard and folio things as well, well, that's going to only cost you a little bit more there, and obviously you might have to buy yourself an Apple Pencil, but you're getting the idea here. What I'm saying is, for quite a lot of us out there, even this iPad might be right for you than, let's say, this MacBook Air right here. The iPads have caught up so much now. And just like what we have with the iPad Pro, that Apple are promoting that the iPad Pro is a fantastic device and that it can do so much there with iPad OS, I think this is the big thing that, you know, you can buy yourself a MacBook Air instead, have a better operating system and have that instead. That just makes more sense to me than having an iPad Pro. Now it's got the better screen, it's got a, you know, it's ever so slightly smaller screen than we've got here with the MacBook Air. But you're getting the point here. I think for the first time, this iPad is definitely something that to possibly consider than over, say, the MacBook Air. But I'd love to know your thoughts too. What do you think? Do you think that the new iPad with the A16 is possibly a good thing to actually look into instead of getting yourself a MacBook Air if you're on a budget? Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, it's time to wrap up this video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. Also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.